Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Trump's ceasefire plan revealed in full. Reuters revealed it, and I got it from New Voice of Ukraine. I have all the points, the full ceasefire plan. Oy vey. Let's read it, shall we? and then we're gonna find the Russians again complaining about certain details from the negotiation process oozing to the press, how they call it a megaphone diplomacy, and the Russians dislike that a lot. So we're going to discuss these two topics. Let's start with the first one. New Voice of Ukraine. Trump's ceasefire plan revealed in full. This is Trump's. This is not the Russians. This is what one side says. Look at this picture. Interesting, right? Orthodox Church, Muslim minarets. All right, let's go. The US negotiated a proposal to end the Russo-Ukrainian war includes Washington's recognition of the 2014 annexation of Crimea, Kiev renouncing its NATO aspirations, so far Russia's winning, and Ukraine restoring partial control over Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. I don't think that will ever happen. Reuters reported on April 25. This will be a no-no. The Russians already said, it's Russian. We can't give it to you. Now, Reuters published a text of the draft delivered by the US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to Ukrainian and European officials during talks in Paris in April 17. That's exactly what I said. I said, these guys, when the Americans met the baboons in Paris, they gave them puck, go. In London, the Europeans said, Europeans, German, French, and Brits, and the Ukrainians, they said, no, we have some questions. And then what did the Americans do? We didn't show up. We gave you that. That's non-negotiable. This is our plan. You take it or leave it. And the guys were like, let's bluff. They bluffed. The bluff smacked them in the face. What's interesting, I want you to note that in Paris, it was the Secretary of State of the United States of America, Mr. Marco Rubio. He is the foreign minister of North America, the United States of America, not North America, United States of America. So he is the foreign minister. He conducts foreign ministry, the foreign policy of the United States of America, dealing with other foreign ministers of other countries. In this case, he was supposed to deliver that text to the foreign ministries, but it was Witkoff who did it. Witkoff supposedly is under Mr. Secretary of State position, but Witkoff is, he's the Middle East envoy, but he deals with Ukraine and Russia. Mind you, those two countries are not in the Middle East, but he's Jewish. Zelensky is Jewish, so you have to make sure you got your. Anyway, let's see. So right here, Special Envoy to the Middle East, not to Ukraine. That's another one. Steve Witkoff to Ukrainian and European officials during talks in Paris. The document described itself as a final offer from the United States of both parties. The proposal includes several key elements. All right. A permanent ceasefire with immediate negotiations on its implementation. All right, let's see who's going to agree with that. A permanent ceasefire with immediate negotiations. I think everything is going to be negotiated before a ceasefire. I think the negotiations will be signed in full and agreed in full, and then they will go to the permanent ceasefire. It's not going to be the other way around. Ukraine will receive reliable security guarantees from the Chinese, Indians, and North Koreans. A group of European states and willing non-European allies would serve as guarantors. That will not happen. This is NATO's entry to Ukraine legally. That's exactly what the Russians fought against. Non-European allies, like what? Like Japan or South Korea or Australia and New Zealand. Thanks, but no thanks. Ukraine would forego any pursuit of NATO membership for now. Remember all this. When you have an understanding, an agreement, think of what can be just ignored. Now, if you have the NATO troops, let's call them that way, in Ukraine, and all of a sudden NATO said, well, we don't like what we signed yesterday, the Russians, what are they going to do? Now, NATO, you don't like that, but you got to retreat, get out of Ukraine. They will not get out of Ukraine. They say, oops, we screwed you again, like we did before. On the other hand, they can say, you're not going to scrap this right now. It says, Ukraine would forego any pursuit of NATO membership. That's blah, blah, that's blah, blah, that's blah, blah. Tomorrow they can say, we change our mind. We're going to pursue that. What are they going to do? But with the NATO troops in Ukraine, if the Russians agree with, that would never agree, just to start with, you can't take them out. You know what I mean? You can change your mind, but nothing changes. I just said I will not pursue. Now I say I will pursue. I change my mind. But when you bring the troops in your house, now you gotta go. No, not so fast, baby doll. Not so fast. You see, this is baboonish. This is baboonish offer, at least for the Russians. The United States would de jure recognize Russian control over Crimea. Again, this is zero. They recognize it, and tomorrow they can say, we don't recognize it. We change our mind. Why? They did it before. I don't have to talk to the Indians. To the Indians in America, how many treaties were broken. I don't even have to talk to the Iranians. When the American says, you know what? We negotiated, we got this, the nuclear deal with Iran, Obama, and when Trump came, he said, we don't like this. We want to scrap it and leave. They changed their mind. So with this kind of individual who represents a country, remember, Trump is that's not his country. That's not Obama's country. That's the country, and these guys represent it. Now, if these guys change at every administration what the other administration signed, you're not reliable, my friends. Not reliable partners. If we agree to this today and tomorrow you change your mind, if everybody does, remember, let's say your bank does the same thing to you. They agree to give me a mortgage, let's say with 3% interest rate. And after 3 days they say, no, we change our mind, we're going to give you with 10%. What? You signed over there when we change our mind? Now this is United America, so now they will recognize. Tomorrow they can say we change our mind. I mean, they recognize Kosovo as a country. It's not a big deal here. The United States would de facto recognize de facto. That means, okay, let it slide for now. Control over Luhansk Oblast. It would also de facto acknowledge Russia's control over parts of Zaporozhye, Donetsk, and Kherson. This is nothing. All this de facto and de jure means nothing. Nothing. It's a contract. These guys change their mind. It's an understanding. Ukraine would regain occupied territory in Kharkiv Oblast. That means we're gonna go and we're gonna give these guys back so we can bring the troops de facto, the thing over there. Make a difference between promises and done facts. That is, if NATO comes or Ukraine occupies Kharkiv Oblast area that the Russians have right now, they're already there. If I tell you I will promise not to do something to you, I can change the promise today. The other one is right there. You can't do anything about it. And the fact that these guys recognize the de jure and de facto the Russian occupation of Crimea and all the other areas over there is not because they are nice. They can't push them back and are not willing to bring their troops over there because they know the Russians will use nuclear weapons. That's clear, tactical nuclear weapons, and they can escalate. Next one. Control over Zaporozhye nuclear power plant would be restored to Ukraine under US oversight. Are you crazy? I mean, who the hell thought about these things? I mean, this is such imbecilic. So the Americans, another country will take control over a nuclear power plant that right now is in the Russians' hands with military de facto right there. You can't change that. We're going to come and take it through a signed document and the Ukrainians will take control over that? Why would I want to do that? What do you offer me? You offer me nothing. You offer me only this, stopping the war. That's all you offer me. But I can get that done if I get to Poland. Little by little, maybe in 20 years I get to Poland's borders, but I will get to Poland's borders. Again, these guys are in the ropes. All right, with electricity shared between both sides. Yeah, and these guys, one day decide, we're not going to give you any more electricity. The US decides and the Ukrainians turn it off. Again, it is de facto, as would control over the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant. Ukraine would secure free passage along the Dnieper River and obtain control from the Kiburn Spit and Papapap. That's down in the south in the Black Sea. The United States and Ukraine would enter into an economic cooperation. That is, I will take your resources. I will plunder you. Agreement related to mineral resources. Ukraine would be fully rebuilt with our banks, our money, our contractors, and we will arm everybody else with our military industrial complex and receive financial compensation. Compensation means the Russians will give them money. Are you crazy? Like what? Why? You froze our $30 billion assets. That's theft. US sanctions imposed on Russia since 2014 would be lifted. Yeah, and then we change our mind. After you pay the compensation, we're going to bring again the sanctions. That's idiotic. Economic cooperation between the United States and Russia in energy and other industrial sectors will resume. Okay, now that's not a concession from the Americans. Not the Americans, we're going to plunder your country for now at your requested price. It's not like the Americans were coming back. No, you left, stay the fuck over there. It's a big whole world out there. Big one. With you or without you, yeah, we would like to do business with you. But if you're a narcissist and you give me the cold, silent treatment, then stay over there with your fucking dying Europe. See where that's gonna get you. And with Japan sinking, and with the Great Britain also sinking, and with Australia. Australia will say, don't leave us here alone, the Chinese are coming. They cried about the Solomon Islands. The Chinese are coming. They're 2,000 fucking miles away from us. Or 2,000 kilometers away from us. The Chinese with the Solomon Islands. America, come and help us. We help you in the Second World War, remember? Shut your pie hole, okay? And New Zealand, another, I don't know, Lord of the Ring movie set. So that is the proposal of the ceasefire. I think it's imbecilic. Most of it is like a no-go, no starter whatsoever. This is how these people think. Is this what Witkoff and these guys could come up with? I don't know how the Russians will accept this. The Russian might be having this take on this. We want peace, we want calm here, but it's going to be a temporary calm. And then they're going to get at it. And let me show how Lavrov criticizes Zelensky with the megaphone diplomacy. Russia Today. Lavrov criticized Zelensky for leaking confidential talks. And it says, serious matters are never discussed in public before negotiations are finalized. Correct. That's diplomacy 101. The Russian foreign minister says, Russian foreign minister Lavrov has criticized Ukraine Vladimir Zelensky for disclosing information that he believes should remain confidential until negotiations are finalized. But if you want to destroy the negotiations, then you put them in the media. Lavrov emphasized that Russia does not intend to publicly reveal the progress of talks with the US on Ukraine settlement until the process is completed. So that means Zelensky has information somehow from the Americans about the Russia and about US and Russia talks on Ukraine until the process is completed. So that means the Ukrainians have, I know, Witkoff, not the Ukrainians, Zelensky has Witkoff to tell him what they talk so Zelensky can tell the press. I'm just saying Witkoff, I have no evidence, but the fact that it leaks only unidirectionally, it doesn't go to the Russians, the leaks go only to the Ukrainian guy, right? Because he's Ukrainian. And here it is. Lavrov made the remarks in an interview with CBS News. We are really polite people, and unlike some others, we never discuss in public what is being discussed in negotiations. Otherwise, negotiations are not serious, Lavrov said. If you want to ask for somebody's opinion regarding the substance of the proposed peace deal, go to Zelensky. He is happy to talk to anybody through media, even to President Donald Trump. So, my friends, serious conversations are in private, and then you let people know what you decided. Otherwise, you expose things, you embarrass. Certain things are sensitive. People don't want to share their names over there. They don't want to be known they are discussing behind the closed doors under certain kind of channels. Unknown to us, that's diplomacy. if you just reveal, hey, you know what, actually Bill Gates is involved in, I don't know, Ukraine-Russia talks, I know some people might say, what the hell is Bill Gates has to do with this thing? But after the deal is done, you can say, okay, that's a good deal right here. He helped. It's just a different take from our perspective. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. After all, that's their job. It's not in the open. Certain things are, certain things are not. Like, for instance, military operation plans. They're not discussing it with us, put them on a right here. This is the operation. Do you agree, people? No, they just let us know we struck that. How? No details. So, thank you very much for being with me again today. That ceasefire plan is the permanent, they said. Ceasefire plan revealed Trump's, I don't know, this is, I would say, 13-year-old level. I mean, if I would be in between, let's say, I don't have any, look at, I mean, you know the limits expressed by the Russians in this case regarding these things. I mean, and you offer me the bird over there on the fence. No, give me the bird in my hand. You know, I can release it or keep it. No, I'm going to give you that bird. You see over there, that bird flying free? I will give it to you. I will give it. And the Russians are going to be, okay. The Russians said, we will never, that was Lavrov, we will never again trust the Western partners on the words. Everything should be verified and clearly signed. It's a baboonish, but the fact, done. We're going to bring our NATO troops in Ukraine, and we promise Ukraine is not going to apply for NATO membership. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.